Hello and welcome to Newsmax Health on Newsmax TV. Right now we're talking with Dr. David Samadi, Chief of Robotics in Minimally Invasive Surgery at the Mount Sinai Medical Center in New York. Dr. Samadi is a leading prostate surgeon and a pioneer in the field of robotic prostatectomy. It's great to have you with us.
Good morning.
After a government panel recently advised against giving the PSA test for routine prostate cancer screening, many men and their doctors were thrown into a quandary. Should men continue to get the PSA, or does the test open a Pandora's box of unnecessary medical procedures? So, Dr. Samadi, let me ask you. The PSA test can give false positives, and critics say it often leads to needless biopsies or unnecessary treatment of cancer that is not life-threatening. Why do you believe the PSA should continue to be routinely given?
Well, this has been a very hot topic and has been debated among doctors, medical doctors, surgeons. And recently, as you said, U.S. Task Force came out against getting PSA screening. And the answer to that is that PSA stands for prostate-specific antigen. It's not standing for prostate cancer-specific antigen. So as a result, if you have an enlarged prostate, if you have any inflammation in your prostate, if you have prostate cancer, all of those can result into elevated PSAs. So that's true, that PSA by itself cannot tell somebody that they have prostate cancer. It's really like up to your doctor and your surgeon to really detect, and this is all the detective work, to find out exactly what is the velocity or the speed of the PSA rise over the number of years. Somebody that has a family history of prostate cancer or they have genetic risk factor, they're more susceptible to get prostate cancer, and so in that person, we really need to pay more attention. To come and say PSA screening doesn't help and men out there should not get PSA is not only irresponsible, it's a huge mistake. The alternatives are none. There's really no other test or screening for prostate cancer except PSA at this point. And it's almost like telling women no more mammogram, and that just doesn't make much of a sense. We need to be wise and be smart about how we interpret the PSA, and that again has to do with your doctor and communication with them, and find out where you were 2 years ago, where you are now, and where you may be in the future. Keep the record of all the PSAs, and if it's really elevated, then getting a prostate biopsy and getting a digital rectal exam is absolutely necessary.
Now, I'm almost 33 years old, but I just recently found out a friend of mine who's just a couple years older than me was diagnosed with prostate cancer. In your opinion, at what age should a man start getting a PSA test, and how often do they need to have them?
Well, what's interesting is that the youngest person that I've operated on is 32 years old. And it's just amazing. I never thought I would see this. He came to me with a diagnosis of prostate cancer because his PSA had been going up. He was trying to get life insurance, and that's how they found out that he has a very high elevated PSA. Prostate cancer, it's not the old man disease anymore. We're seeing a lot of them in young 40s and 50s. So my advice is to get a baseline PSA at the age of 40. Certainly if you have family history or at high risk, you want to make sure that starting age 40, once a year you get your PSA and your digital rectal exam. If you are not at high risk, and if you're not African Americans, which we know that we see more prostate cancer among them, then you can get a baseline at the age of 45 and every year after that. So I think it's an excellent question. I don't think the prostate cancer is the 70s and 80s disease anymore. We see a lot of young guys that come in, and this is a life-saving treatment. Once you know, you can really go for it and make sure that you get the cancer out.
Dr. David Samadi, Chief of Robotics in Minimally Invasive Surgery at the Mount Sinai Medical Center in New York. It's been great talking with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.